Bells of Steel sent me a belt sculpt machine a few months ago, and with it, they sent me a whole bunch of other gear as well, including two different weightlifting belts. So one of them is that thick, I don't know how many millimeters it is, but it's a thick powerlifting belt. And the other one is the Velcro version, which you often see in Olympic weightlifting. And they've been looking at me, sitting there on the squat rack, on the power rack for a couple of months. I set them up. I think I set them up correctly. And then I just left them there with the intention of using them someday. In this spirit of trying a million different exercises, the bodybuilding mindset, and just trying to look for weaknesses and constantly changing and swapping. Today I looked at the belts and I thought, what's a good reason that I could come up with now not to use it today? So I did. I didn't think of that at the start of the session. It was kind of like really before the heavy stuff. So I put the belt and walked around. It feels weird. It feels really weird, to be honest. And I don't really know how to use it because my normal bracing is not with a belt. And so putting this thing on is just kind of weird. But I put it on and I squatted 180 with it. And I don't know. I don't know what to think. I feel like it's just an accessory right now. I don't really feel like it's a tool to help me. And dare I say, it made me kind of go into more of a lean, because when I got to the bottom, the belt pushed into my thighs and it kind of made it harder for me to hit depth. And so coming back up, the first thing that I did, which was weird, was I stuck my hips behind to get away from that pressure of the belt getting stuck between the belly and the thighs. But what am I saying? It's been one session, one freaking rep. So nothing's going to happen out of this. But it was interesting. And this idea was born out of me not trying to be stubborn. And I think we all have our biases and we all have our own preferences. And you guys know that I don't like a whole lot of things in weightlifting and in gym culture in general. One thing that motivated me a hell of a lot at the start of my gymming journey was that I wanted to make sure my core was independent and strong. I wanted to be the focal point of my training. After I had that scare when I was 20 odd years old, I kind of vowed to myself that I was going to always have that in the forefront of my training: core stability, core strength. And squatting and deadlifting is some of the best thing you can do. And if you do it without a belt, and you learn how to brace without any assistance, then that should carry over to everyday life, right? Because when I lift patients, I don't have a lifting belt. When I lift parts around cars, or when I lift in between, furniture and moving people, moving houses, like just moving whatever, I don't have a weightlifting belt. And so it's a different brace, right? I don't want to become dependent upon a tool. But that doesn't mean that you can't use that tool to do a certain job. And I don't know why it kind of annoys me that I've gone this long in my lifting that I didn't use the belt. The belt is pretty much a very common piece of equipment. That doesn't mean I'm going to start going into knee wraps and all sorts of stuff, squat suits and bench. No, I'm not going to do that. That's going way, way too deep. But a lifting belt is pretty much a novice level, entry level thing. So at least I should use it sometimes. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it, but at least try it occasionally. This time I tried that fat belt. Maybe next time I'll try the not powerlifting belt, the normal Ollie belt maybe. I don't know. And just, use it as a variation. I'm swapping and changing a lot of different things. Maybe this can help me a little bit. I don't know. But I do not want to become reliant upon it. But it was an interesting feeling. The trouble with me, and this is part of the thought process that prevented me from using it, was that I've always been a posterior chain guy. So I really don't want to use a tool which makes me want to use my posterior chain even more. Putting this thing on, I'm thinking, right, well, this is pouring concrete down my lower back even more, which is going to send signals to my brain to be like, hey, dude, you should really use your back, man. Look at all the shit that we got going on there. We're strong in the lower back. And also we got this freaking nice little tool that we can use. And so I don't know whether this belt is going to make me even more hingy, which is kind of going against the ollie shoes. The ollie shoes are trying to make me more upright, and the belt is making more lean over. I'm saying the belt is making more lean over, but that might not be the case at all. But I kind of felt like leaned over. I don't know. Obviously, it's very, very new. But it could also be used kind of like a pin squat is used, just an overload thing, right? Like if I can lift a little bit more weight with the belt, it might serve a simple role as getting over the mental barrier of 5 plates. If I can hit 5 plates with the belt and get over it mentally, maybe I can hit it a little bit easier without the belt because I've felt it with the belt. I don't know. But this is how it felt to me. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at it now and I'm like, it looks about the same anyway, but it's just a different feeling. A lot of people say you have to like blow your belly out, and I was trying to blow my belly out and it kind of feels weird. Because when I brace, I don't do blowing out. I take a deep breath into my belly and then I use my musculature around my guts to like push in, to clench in, and that creates stability. With a belt on, I could be completely wrong here, but I think the teaching is you need to inflate against the belt, which is the opposite that I'm doing when I'm not with the belt. Without the belt, I take a breath in and I clench inward, clench hard, clench the six-pack muscle, the obliques, the transverse abdominis, all of that. I just try to make my own lifting belt with my core. But with the belt, I think the teaching is you take a massive breath in and you allow the belt to do the clenching, which is really weird. I don't know. I mean, it makes no sense to me right now, but obviously with a bit more practice, I'm sure something positive might come out of it. There's been millions of people using belts and they all say it's a benefit. So who am I to say here, after one freaking touch of the belt that I'm an expert. But this is what I felt. I felt, odd. And of course, I'm going to feel all odd when I have never used this piece of equipment. So, interesting. It's interesting to venture down this road. Frankly, I can't believe I did it. But, without the Bells of Steel guys hooking me up with the belt squad and all this other equipment, I probably wouldn't have bought a belt. And I have to say, the Bells of Steel stuff is top-notch, man. The belt squad is incredible. Very, very strong quality. I mean, I've got a Rogue GHD and pretty much the steel and the structure is all pretty much the same type of stuff. Thick bolts everywhere, like very, very strong stuff. And the belt looks top-notch as well. It's one of those lever belts. You have to use screws to move the things around and, maybe my belt was too loose as well. I don't know. It was kind of hard to click it in, so maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But it's something I might play around with and see, what I need to do. But I'm kind of keen to try the other belt, the Velcro belt, to see whether that doesn't impact my mobility at the bottom of the squat. Because this thing kind of felt like I was running into it with my thighs. Whereas the other one seems like much thinner and, I don't know, could work a little bit better. Not sure. Anyway, appreciate you guys like always, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.